And I'm back with Tina Seifert, and we are going to talk about the financial aspects of a divorce and all the things that are involved with that. Let's start with alimony. That's something that's often misunderstood.
Oh, absolutely. You have people quite often that think, well, maybe because of the fact that I didn't work during the marriage, that I'm automatically entitled to alimony, and I should get that from the person. Alimony is complicated because there are things that the court needs to look at. Not only does the court look at the person's needs, does the person actually need alimony, but you have to look at the ability of the person who may be required to pay that alimony. Do they have the means to pay that? And in today's economy, that can be kind of hard. So just because a wife or a husband may have a need for alimony, that doesn't mean automatically that the court's going to order it, because you still need to look at whether the person has the ability to pay it. There are numerous types of alimony in Florida. There's permanent alimony, which is alimony usually that extends until the person dies or remarries. There's temporary alimony, which is for a period of time. There's lump sum alimony, where the court may say, okay, I'm going to give you this much money or this much of an asset that's in the marriage as a form of alimony. There may be rehabilitative alimony, and rehabilitative alimony is the type of alimony that someone is given to basically help them further their education or get to a point where they can support themselves. They have to develop a plan about what they're going to do, where they're going to, are they going to go to school, that kind of stuff.
So that's similar to the temporary alimony that you mentioned.
Well,
that's
actually,
a short-term situation?
Yeah, short-term. The difference is that with temporary alimony, you don't have to have a plan. There's not something you need to show the court that you're going to do. Temporary, the court can just say, okay, for the next 2 years, 3 years, whatever, we're going to give you this money.
I can see what you're saying about determining the alimony, because if one spouse wasn't working, the other spouse was supporting one household.
Right. Now
you're looking at supporting two households, and
right.
that can make a big difference.
Absolutely, and so that's something they have to look at. People also need to understand that the length of the marriage is something the courts consider. If someone's been married a short period of time, let's say under 6 years, it's difficult to establish that you're entitled to alimony. There's really some things that you have to show the court, such as perhaps a disability occurred during the marriage that maybe the court will recognize as a basis to give alimony. It's more the longer term marriages where alimony starts to become a factor that the courts will seriously consider.
Okay, let's talk about debts, let's talk about assets. Maybe we should start with inheritances.
Inheritances.
How is that determined? If someone inherits
basically,
$500,000, is that theirs? Or?
Well, if they use that at all during the course of the marriage to enhance the marriage or pay marital assets or debts, you risk making that then a marital asset that can be divided between the two parties. So basically, if you kind of commingle or bring those funds into your marriage and use them for the marriage, they can become a marital asset. As far as marital debts, what people need to understand is some people go out and during the marriage and just get a car in their name, thinking, okay, well, that way that person's just responsible for that debt. That's not true. Anything acquired during the marriage, whether it's an asset or debt, is something that the other person can be responsible for.
So it doesn't matter if it's in two names?
Nope.
Oh, now that's
so
something that I think people wouldn't know.
Yes.
There's a lot involved, and I know that you probably spend a lot of time with people sorting all this out and trying to be fair and
correct
and do the right thing.
And that's what the courts need to do. They try to do an equitable or an equal distribution. That doesn't always happen, but they try to do that. And they basically look at the value of assets, how much is owed on certain things, and try to reach an equitable distribution between the parties.
Very good. Very interesting. Thank you so much, Tina.
Sure. Thank you.